We are going live for 9 o'clock. Let's see here. How does that look? Pretty. Could back up a little. No, I think we're good. Let's see. It's been a hectic week. Morning. Today is Saturday. It was a hectic week. I did find some wood that I'm cutting up, and I had to load it at, it was 9 degrees out. I'm loading my truck up with slab wood. But it burns really well. Oh my goodness. Hot. Takes 1 or 2 moments for a couple of pieces of paper to get it started. Cardboard. We have a lot of cardboard in our house. Because everybody's delivering everything. What do we got here? It is 11 degrees out in Coloma. The sun is shining. That means like the front of the house is always warmer. We have, when he built this house, he built it facing southeast. So we get the morning sun. And it's really nice. And I keep adding windows, or I did for years, on the south side. So I added, how many extra windows? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 extra windows on the south side, southeast side. Two extra windows to the west, and to the north side, just 2 extra. That was about 15 years ago, 10 years ago. That was in my building days. That's where you cut a hole in a wall that wasn't the window. You cut a hole in the wall, perfectly sized. And then you cut 1.5 inches around the outside siding so you can get your brick molding on. And then you have to build a inside, take out the studs that are there and reinforce the side 2 pieces. Go into the top one and cut out the studs so that you can put a header on it. Add the headers, and then finally install it, insulate it all up, put that sticky tape around it, and finally put a window in. So that's the building report of the day. Don't do that anymore. The last big building project I did was I put a pine ceiling in the living room. It's hung and grooved on the ceiling. Did I do that before or after I built the gazebo out there too. I don't know if I have one more building in me yet. I could build one more shed. So, being in the cold here, we've come a long way from taking a tuning fork at 440 and hitting it on, listening to A and tuning your guitar. And they had those little whistles that you would blow through, 6 little whistles, and then each one was the right key. And they had those little boxes. Actually, my other guitar has one of those inside it. A Fishman tuner. And now Diodario makes one that you don't even see anymore. It's hidden behind the guitar. It picks up it doesn't pick, there's no speaker in it. It picks up the vibrations of the guitar and tells me if the guitar's in tune or not. So. Good morning, my name is Guy Kaplan. This is Dining Room Songs. It's 9 o'clock. We're looking at January 31st. Where did January go? It's February. Pretty soon it'll be March, April. It'll be planting season. No. The new plant, I had to show that off just because I could. Let's see, where is it? It's right there. Over there. I bought 2 of these, I never get them pronounced right. How do you pronounce that? Bromeliads. 2 bromeliads. And then I found out after reading about bromeliads, which are in the pineapple family are bromeliads too. There are like 2,000 kinds. They're from South America, Central America. And they can't, they're beautiful now. They flower out like a flower at the top. Looks perfect, but they don't have any roots of any consequence. They only get their water from the rain, and their leaves suck in the water, and little cups are near the stem. And so they have no significant root structure. And then the other thing is they completely die back. I mean, they die, the whole thing. And they make shoots. And the shoots are what you cut up and put in dirt, and they'll make another one. After like 6 months to a year, the plant looks like that and has that beautiful flower-looking top to it. All right, that's the garden report. I've traveled that country from the Keweenaw headlands, where the wild gulls do cry, from the rocks to the sea, or the cold inland oceans and the Manitou Islands, far away from my home, strange places to see. And the stars, they shine bright on the south shore tonight. The Keweenaw light sweeps over the bay. And if dreams could come true, I'd still be there with you on the banks of cold waters at the close of the day. I've drifted through the boom towns, a century dying, past the ruins of the smelter and the rusted head frames. down through Mohawk and Ahmed, Centennial and Lorient, and 100 sad places that pass without names. And the stars, they shine bright on the South Shore tonight. The Keweenaw sweeps over the bay. And if dreams could come true, I'd still be there with you on the banks of cold waters at the close of the day. I've counted the cross ties, dry bones of the railroad that stretch from the sunrise to the close of the day. And I've counted the miles between me and my true love, the lies and the highways that carry me away. Your turn now. And the stars, they shine bright on the South Shore tonight. The Keweenaw sweeps over the bay. And if dreams could come true, I'd still be there with you on the banks of cold waters at the close of the day. All the leaves have turned gold, summer's nigh over, the wild geese sweet low over Lake Manganese. In that faraway country, you walk by slow rivers, alongside cold waters, beneath the whispering trees. And the stars, they shine bright on the South Shore tonight. The Keweenaw sweeps over the bay. And if dreams could come true, I'd still be there with you on the banks of cold waters at the close of the day. And if dreams could come true, I'd still be there with you on the banks of cold waters at the close of the day. Keweenaw lights. All right. My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a penny, weighed more. It was bought on the morn of the day that he was born, and was always his treasure and pride. But it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. 90 years without stumbling, tick-tock, tick-tock, his life seconds numbering. Tick-tock, tick-tock, it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. My grandfather said that of those he could hire, not a servant so faithful he found. For he wasted no time and had but one desire, at the close of each week to be wound. And it kept in its place not a frown upon his face, and its hands never hung by its side. But it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. It rang and alarmed in the dead of the night, an alarm that for years had been dumb. And we knew that his spirit was for flight, that its hour for departure had come. Still the clock kept the time with a soft and muffled chime, as he silently stood by his side. But it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. 90 years without slumber, tick-tock, tick-tock, his life seconds numbering, tick-tock, tick. It stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. My grandfather's clock. So how's your coffee this morning? Hot. Luke. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. Freight train, coming round the bend. Freight train, gone again. One of these days, turn that train around. Go back to my hometown. Sing it with me. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. One more place I'd like to be. One more place I'd love to see. To watch those old Blue Ridge mountains climb as I ride home number 9. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. When I die, please bury me deep down at the end of Bleecker Street, so I can hear old number 9. So she goes rolling by. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. The great Elizabeth Cotton. Of course, when Peter, Paul, and Mary did it, they would say Chestnut Street if they were in Philadelphia, because that's what street they were on. they would change the name of the street to whatever city they were in. It was kind of a thing there. Well, what is today? Today, it's getting to be February 3rd, a couple of days. And February 3rd has a particular name in folk music lore. It's the day the music died. What?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. Something touched me deep inside the day music died. Drove me Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Well, did you write the book of love? Do you have faith in God above? Like the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. It was a lonely teenage rockin' buck with a big carnation, a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day music died. We were singing Bye Bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own. The moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat borrowed from James Dean, a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. And while Lenin read a book of Marx, a quartet practiced in the park, we sang dirges from the dark. Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, thinking this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Well, helter skelter in the summer swelter, the birds flew off in a fallout shelter, 8 miles high and falling fast. It landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass with a jester on the sidelines in cast. Now in the half their sweet perfume, while the sergeant played a marching tune, we all got up to dance, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall that was revealed the day the music died? We were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, saying this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Oh, there we're all in one place, a generation lost in space, with no time left to start again. So Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack Flash sat on a candlestick, 'cause a dot fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and as I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan's spell. And as the flames climbed higher in the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing in the night the day music died. We were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, saying this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues and asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. I went down to the sacred store where I heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried, the poets dreamed. Not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken, and the three men I admired the most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast the day the music died. And they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. Don McLean, 1971. It was Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly on the airplane that crashed in Iowa.
But that was years before.
Clear Lake, years before that. All right. 59, I think it was. It says here 59. I have that here for some reason. All right. I like dusting off the old ones sometimes. Actually, I never sang that song until COVID. I knew this place, I knew it well, every sound and every smell. And every time I walked I fell for the first 2 years or so. There across a grassy yard, I, a young boy running hard, brown and bruised and battle scarred, lost in sweet illusion. From my window I can see the fingers of an ancient tree. Reaching out it calls to me to climb its surely branches. But all my climbing days are gone, and these tired legs I'm standing on would scarcely dare to leave the spot upon which they are standing. I remember every word from every voice I ever heard, every frog and every bird. Yes, this is where it started. A brother's laugh, a sighing wind. This is where my life begins. This is where I learn to use my hand and hear my heart. This house is old, it carries on like lyrics to an old-time song. Always changed but never gone. This house will stand the seasons, and our lives pass on from door to door. Dust across the wooden floor, and feathers rain and thunders roar. We need not know the reason. And all these thoughts come back to me like ships across the friendly sea, like breezes blowing endlessly, like rivers running deep. This day is done, the lights are low, the wheels of life are turning slow, and as these visions turn to go, I lay me down to sleep. I remember every word from every voice I ever heard, every frog and every bird. Yes, this is where it started. A brother's laugh, the sighing wind. This is where my life begins. This is where I learn to use my hand and hear my heart. I knew this place, I knew it well, every sound and every smell. Every time I walked I fell for the first 2 years or so. There across a grassy knoll, like young boys running hard, brown and bruised and battle scarred, lost in sweet illusion. I knew this place, I knew it well, every sound and every smell. Every time I walked I fell for the first 2 years or so. This day is done, the lights are low, the wheels of life are turning slow. And as these visions turn and go, I lay me down to sleep. David Mallet, how are we doing for time? I knew this would take time. Let's see, what do you got here? Appreciate your Social Security check day. Ooh, how about backward day? Remember backward day in school? You dress backwards. Brandy Alexander Day. Earned Income Tax Credit Awareness Day. How about Eat Brussels Sprouts Day? How many of you like Brussels sprouts? You know, I don't think I ever ate them when I was growing up. Gorilla Suit Day. Hell is freezing over day. Hug an economist day. Inspire your heart with arts day. It's International Zebra Day. It's National Hot Chocolate Day. National Seed Swap Day. Scotch Tape Day and Street Children's Day. Seed Swap Day, that would be great. I keep growing these Amish blush tomatoes. Amish blush. They're like Romas, but they're 3 times bigger and have less seeds, and they're tiny, tiny, tiny seeds. And some years I get hundreds of them. Some years I just get a few. All right. Thank you, Loretta, for that. The color in the background is just a primary. I know a guy that, okay, let's try that. Take a deep breath. I know a guy that's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, kinda confused, got muscles in his head, ain't never used, thinking he owns half the town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with a rubber hose. Then he takes her out for dinner and buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, next you're down. It's a half an inch of water, think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. I was sitting in the bathtub counting my toes when the radiator broke, water all froze. I got stuck in the ice without my clothes, naked as eye of a clown. I was crying ice cubes, hoping I'd croak when the sun came through the window. The ice all broke, I stood up and laughed, thought it was a joke. That's the way that the world goes round. Yes, that's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water, you think you're gonna drown. And that's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water, think you're gonna drown. And that's the way that the world goes round. All right, something like that. I'm gonna grab a tissue real quick. Boxes of tissues and drinks of coffee. And if you're in Wisconsin, or a Quick Trip fanatic, they're selling milk for like $2.50 a gallon. Any kind. Milk at Quick Trip. The funny thing is, if you get their card and scan the card, they take 10% off of that. So what does that make it? $2.25 a gallon? Even if you don't need milk, you could freeze a couple gallons. I don't have any room in my freezer for gallons of milk. The elk are coming down from the hills each morning. Winter grazing's better here below. The evening sky last night was like a warning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow this morning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow. Every year this town It's getting smaller. The kids can hardly wait to up and go. Now they've closed the high school down forever. It's cold outside, looking like early snow this morning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow. Clouds up over the Bitterroot, getting darker every day. As soon as the wind turns westerly, they're bound to head this way. There's been no rain all summer, all the grass is brown. This rodeo is over, the circus is leaving town. Another family, another farming family left the valley. They left last night, nobody heard them go. They left the tractor standing in the hayfield. It's cold outside, looking like early snow this morning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow. Clouds up over the Bitterroot, getting darker every day. As soon as the wind turns westerly, they're bound to head this way. There's been no rain all summer, all the grass is brown. This rodeo is over, this circus is leaving town. The elk are coming down from the hills each morning. The winter grazing's better here below. The evening sky last night was like a warning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow this morning. It's cold outside, looking like early snow. It's cold outside, looking like early snow. The great Tom Paxton. Oh, let's see. Keep doing these farming songs that David Mallet wrote. We lost him a couple years ago now, about a year ago. And he did, of course, Inch by Inch. But he also did these wonderful hundreds. He wrote hundreds of songs, albums and albums worth. When the raspberries burst from the woodbine, and the summer lies close to the ground, and the porch is a fit place for young boys to sleep, and the brook in the hollow dies down, then with straw hats and wagons and horses, like young Tim and tired old Dan, we head for the fields to the creak of the wheel, with a pitchfork that blisters your hand. And you have to make hay when the sun shines. That's what all of the hill people say. You just keep your load wide, keep an eye on the sky, and make sure it's dry when you put it away. I remember the chaff on the back of my neck, the cool at the edge of the trees, and you rest for a time, you talk about the weather, you drink from the spring, get mud on your knees, but it's back to the wagon, it's back to the mow, 6 loads in and 8 more to go. And there's biscuits and beans at the late supper meal, and there's nothing like beans when you're working, you know. And you have to make hay when the sun shines. That's what all of the hill people say. You just keep your road wide, keep your eye on the sky, and make sure it's dry when you put it away. 'Tis the season of clover and killdeer, 'tis the time when the earth does her best. It's when all men are strong and the work days are long, and you know when to rise and you know when to rest. And it's cool in the evening, perched on the load, let the wagon winds blow through my hair, and count off the stars and talk to the moon, sing to myself in the sweet summer air, hang on the corners and duck from the branches, and sing to myself in the sweet summer's air. And you have to make hay when the sun shines. That's what all of the hill people say. You just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky, and make sure it's dry when you put it away. You just have to make hay when the sun shines. That's what all of the hill people say. You just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky, and make sure it's dry when you put it away. Of all the things I've done, I've never done haying in the field. All right. I have driven a tractor though. Let's see, we got time for one more? Sure. Let's do this. I've been walking in my sleep, counting trouble instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say. I just turned around, they've gone away. It's gone away in yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell a story I used to know, one that happened so long ago. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Well, I heard the owl calling softly as the night was falling, with a question, and I replied, but he's gone across the borderline. He's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. The finest hour that I have seen is the one that comes between the edge of night and the break of day, when the darkness, it rolls away. It's gone away in yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Great song. I lived in Montana for a year. We used to go across the Great Divide. We lived in Helena to go to Butte or to go to the one to the west there, Anaconda. What a great name for a town, Anaconda. Across the Great Divide. Take care. We'll see you. We'll see you Monday. Kevin and I will be singing songs, and so join us Monday. Share this with a friend if you would, and have a great weekend.